here and all those who are visiting us on live stream tonight. It's a very interesting time to be alive. And I'm going to talk about the Pope in a little bit, but we need to get into Shabbat. So we're going to start with the Nigun, which is a song without words, just a tune. And you'll catch on and you'll be able to bring in the melody. And if you don't, sing whatever melody you want.
So, and the words are just la, la, la. So I'm very optimistic here. Yeah.
So one of the things that we need to do to let Shabbat into our lives is to take a deep breath and think of anything that you want to get rid of that happened this week and blow it out. Hard. Take another deep breath in and blow out everything that you don't want to keep. And then take a deep breath in and think of the peace of Shabbat. On Shabbat, we get an extra soul, a neshama yetera. And that extra soul is one of peace, of joy, of comfort. And that's what we take from being able to celebrate Shabbat. It's time out of the week. As Abraham Joshua Heschel said, that most of the week we're busy painting our own portrait of our lives. And on Shabbat, we're able to step back and see actually what we're painting and what our life looks like. And it's a beautiful thing to do, to be able to take that step back and to think. So I watched the movie Conclave a couple weeks ago.
So you were ready.
I was ready. I was waiting for that white smoke, and that white smoke came very quickly, more quickly than it did in the movie. And so the Catholic Church has chosen Robert Francis Prevost, who's now Pope Leo XIV, to lead the church forward. He is a religious man who believes in peace for all people. He is a person who speaks his own truth, even if it's not popular. He is a person who Francis chose and everyone else chose because he wants to lead the world forward in celebrating each other and bringing people together and bringing a sense of peace. He is the first American-born, biracial, Augustine-ordained Pope. And so we offer him our blessing as he leads the church forward. We begin our service on page 121, and we invite up to the bima to light the candles Margot Hassan and John Parisi. They are lighting in honor of their daughter, Dr. Guinevere Barnowski, who passed her licensing exam in order to become a licensed child psychologist. A one-time exam, and she's done.
I just want to say, Rabbi, that I'm very, I don't have any opinion about, it's not for me to have an opinion about the Catholic Church, but I kind of did like that Pizza Bala. I thought that was going to be a cool name. Okay, it didn't happen, but, you know, so anyhow, that would have been funny too on Saturday Night Live, but it didn't happen. So, here we go. Yes, correct.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, V'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all work of creation that God had done.
Okay, each of you take a cup. But John's like you're holding every prayer book here. All right, we join together in the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uratzon hilchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ויתנו כי קדשת מכהנים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדיש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim.
Chaim. And Mizal Tov to your family.
Mazel tov. We turn to page 146 in our prayer book, and we rise for the Baruch Hu.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai.
We join together in reading on the bottom of page 151. Please join me. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiness of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ma Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
The top of page 157, together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi Chamocha is found on page 158. We turn to page 164 as we rise for the Amidah, the standing prayer, or Hatfilah, the center prayer of our service.
Adonai sepatati tachu fiagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanora, Eneyun, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zoher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Me'vigula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Moshe Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor L'olam Adonai, V'chei kol atah Rab leHoshia, Morir Hatal. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. Page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, the poverty, physical and spiritual, of human beings. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred into action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We turn together to page 178 for the singing of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim, Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim, Le'olam. Ki atah hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom, lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim, Tasim, Le'olam, Le'olam, Le'olam.
Cantor and Evan, I have missed your harmonizing together and bringing us all to that higher place where we go above where we are and we listen and are brought to a higher place through your words together. Thank you. We take moments for silent prayer.
Adonai tzuri begoali, Adonai tzuri begoali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of and my Redeemer. He ruleth on in brave feet. Ve'yon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri ve'goli. Adonai tzuri ve'goli.
We turn in our prayer books to page 362 for Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah.
Please rise.
So this week is a second week with a double portion. The double portion that we have this week is Achrei Mot, which means after death. And it actually discusses the sacrifices and the ritual service on Yom Kippur. And it also discusses illicit relationships, so we're not going to go into that one. But the second parasha is Kiddushim, which is the very center of our Torah. And it begins with the Holiness Code. It tells us how we should act towards and with other people, how we should take care of animals, and how we can act in a more godlike way by walking and noticing other people and taking care of those around us. One of the most interesting things that I find in this parasha is that when you build a house, they usually had flat roofs, you must build a parapet, a kind of gate above your house. In case you're having a house party and everyone's up there, this makes sure that no one can fall off or be hurt. And there are other ones, like, we know we can't do this anymore, but it says in the Torah that if a bird has fallen out of its nest, a baby bird, that you must reach down and pick it up and put it back in the nest. Now we know that the mother would kick it out, and we'd be stuck taking care of a baby bird and raising it ourselves. But these are all about how we care about those around us to make our lives more holy. It gives me great honor to invite forward Mary Beth and Bob Hyatt to lead us in the blessings before and after the Torah reading. Oh, okay. I'll show you where we start.
We're going to go slowly so I can really do it, okay?
Renee, you need my help?
Yep. I thought it was right here, but I can't see it.
Okay, looking for beginning of Kedoshim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish. I just did it yesterday.
All right. We don't know yet.
We're on page 894.
Wait a minute. Daber Ilbani. What are the opening lines?
The beginning of Kedoshim.
Vamarta Alehem. Is this it?
To you.
Is that?
No, I closed it right at the very spot.
You guys get to practice.
That's good.
I'll call that Marta. Here it is, right here.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to
It's like
start
when
right
the
here.
ketchup is right there in the fridge. Okay, here you go.
Okay. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach Li'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yasher Kochacham. Beautiful. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. דבר אל כל עדות בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם קדושים תהיו כי קדוש אני אדוני אלוהיכם. איש אמו ואביו תראו ואת שבתותי תשמרו אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אל תפנו אל העללים ואלוהי מסכה לא תאסור לכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So Kiddushim begins with this sentence that because I, your God, am holy, you, my people, are holy. And it means that we enter into a covenant with God to do our best. Holy in the Torah means to be separate, but it also means to establish a relationship with everyone before us and to treat them with the sense of knowledge that every soul is created in the image of God. And that we see that when we look at different people. So thank you for doing the blessing tonight.
Thank you for asking.
You'll be doing it again in a year when you become an adult bat mitzvah.
If not before.
Thank you.
And everyone can hear why Bob is a member of the choir. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. לה 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 לה
On page 371, we find the words to the Mishaberach, a prayer of healing. But it's not only healing of body, it's healing of spirit, soul, and mind. If one of these were not working, then the rest of us would not work. And so it's so important that we take care of our bodies and our minds and our mental health and our soul, and that we make sure that we listen to every part of our body and to those around us. This week, we mention in our Mishaberach prayers Rabbi Robert Orak, Martha Branween, Jessica Knight, Niles Choper, Myra Taxa, Michael Lynch, Yvette Urado, Mary Jarris, Rabbi Leslie Bergson, Barry Bernstein, Chuck Prezand, Sophia Van S., Marcy Gibellino, Linda Cania, Janine Losco, Bernard Shagan, Avi Bush, Zach Gilstein, Mara Borak, Sheldon Levitt, Rebecca Levitt, Martin Sukanik, Toby Sukanik, Florence Schreiner, Richie Schreiner, David Anagos, and Shong Min Lee. If there's anyone else whose name we should say at this time, as my eyes meet yours, please state that name. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dennis Zund and Alexis Lynn Gazirouse.
Thank you.
We join together in our prayer of healing.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
Restore strength of body.
Restore strength of body.
Help clarify our mind.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirit.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our life.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our day and night,
Throughout our day and night,
we celebrate the journey.
we celebrate the journey.
This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
We turn to page 374 as we remain standing and return the Torah to the ark.
Rabbi, you were mentioning a parapet before.
Yes.
So I have a little story about a parapet.
Oh.
The Saxes this will ring a bell to them. So in Judaism, as you said, we have safety measures in place. So we're supposed to teach our children to swim. That's a Jewish law.
Yep.
And very practical, and obviously put a fence around a roof. So when my son Asher was a counselor at a camp called Osrui, which is one of our reform camps out in the Midwest, there was a roof that kind of got close to the ground. And it was fun. You could hop up on the roof and then climb on the roof. Fun to him. So Asher ended up going on the roof. I didn't know any of this happened. So 3 days before he was supposed to be brought to the airport and fly home, the phone rings, he calls, he says, "Mom, you've got to come pick me up. I've been thrown out of camp." Now, I thought he was joking because he thinks things like that are funny. So I said, "Asher, are you joking?" He said, "Mom, I'm totally serious. I did something wrong, and I'm not considered to be a good role model to the kids, and I have to leave the camp." I said, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "Well, I went up on this roof, okay, and they don't want the kids going on the roof." I said, all right, so let me think. And then I remembered, there's this Jewish law, you have to have a parapet around the roof. So the great director of the camp, this wonderful man, Jerry Kay, agrees to get on the phone with me to talk to me about it. And I'm listening to him, explain to me what a terrible role model my son is, and I agree with him 100%. I mean, it's very dangerous to climb on roofs. I said, I was thinking, though, maybe you could use this as a teachable moment and have Asher teach the kids at camp about this parapet around the roof. And he said, "Well, I really have to think about it." I said, I understand, and if we have to come get him, we will. And then about 2 hours later, the phone rang, and they said that Asher was allowed to stay at the camp, but Jerry was really smart, because he knows the counselors really act up at the end of camp. He said, "Asher, if any of the counselors act up, they're going home. So you are responsible for every single person not misbehaving in those last critical days when everybody lets loose." And so it was very smart of him, and he let Asher stay. And the camp learned about the law of the parapet around the roof. So that always reminds me.
So did they build one?
I don't know. Because then he was also dating Jerry's granddaughter. So Jerry really didn't want Asher to come back. So I don't know.
It's time to count the Omer. Tonight is the 4th week and day 7 of the counting of the Omer. The theme of this week is endurance. Endurance and ambition are the combination of determination and tenacity. It's a balance of patience, persistence, and grit, which establish security and commitment. Endurance, say the rabbis, means to be alive, to be driven by healthy and productive goals. It's the readiness to fight for what you believe in, to commit with the fullest energy of self. We need to make sure that we examine our endurance to assure that it's used in a healthy and productive manner. Together we say the blessing, which is the normal blessing, but at the end it's Al Sfirat HaOmer. So we're going to say that together. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav, and then Vitivanu Al Sfirat HaOmer. Hayom Shmona Esrim Yon Shehem Arba'a Shavuot LaOmer. Today is 28 days, which is 4 weeks and 7 days into the counting of the Omer. We're going to be standing at Sinai before we know it, with the holiday of Shavuot. I wanted to focus on Jewish ethics tonight by way of reading which perhaps is the most famous verse in this week's Torah portion, if not the entire Torah. Leviticus 19:18 says that we're commanded to love our neighbors as ourselves. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Other traditions, religions, and philosophies, religious and secular, provide a variety of mottos by which one can aspire and measure a virtuous life. But it's the verse, the golden rule, that embodies, in just 3 words, v'ahavta, love, l'reacha, your neighbor, kamocha, as yourself. The biblical ideal of interpersonal ethics, sometimes referred to as reciprocal altruism, the words are often understood as a rule of thumb that we should treat each other how we ourselves want to be treated. We like it when people are kind, generous, caring, thoughtful, forgiving, and patient toward us. And thus we should act in that way to others. For those unfamiliar, the full passage reads, "Do not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely reprove your kinsmen. Incur no guilt on their account. Do not take vengeance. Do not bear a grudge. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord your God." In the Torah, most things matter, and location matters. This commandment sits in the very middle of the Torah. If you were to open it and count the words, this section would be exactly in the middle. It's the linchpin of what Judaism stands upon. No wonder that the 12th century French commentator Rashi notes that this verse is the fundamental principle of the Torah. Mark Twain once said, "It ain't the parts of the Bible I don't understand that bother me. It's the parts I do understand." The more that we study this verse, the more we realize that what seems so simple and understandable may not be simple and understandable at all. The 13th century Spanish commentary Nachmanides, for instance, takes issue with the literal meaning as explained by his predecessor, Maimonides, that a person should wish for their neighbor love, compassion, money, whatever one wishes for themselves. Nachmanides explains, in a proto-Darwinism fashion, that this verse cannot possibly mean that because every person by identification is led by self-interest, no person can be allowed to extend that same love to another as they do for themselves. Rather, Nachmanides explains, building on an earlier commentator, Ibn Ezra, that a person should enjoy the fortune of another as they would their own. We celebrate when someone else achieves something wonderful, when they build the house that they've always dreamed of, when their child passes the state license, is allowed to practice as a child psychiatrist. It's not the natural thing that we would do. We need a commandment to remind us to rejoice in the good fortune of others, whether we work on Wall Street, serve as rabbis, or just siblings who fall into the trap of measuring others or each other against ourselves. Sometimes we begrudge. Sometimes we think life is a zero-sum game. Sometimes we think that the success of another person somehow diminishes us. We need a commandment, says Nachmanides, to wish for others what we would wish for ourselves, to strive, as the adage goes, to be satisfied with our portion. It's not an easy task, but that's what it means to love others as we love ourselves. But the complexities that are baked into this verse only deepen. What does it actually mean to love another person as one would love oneself? I once heard a person say that one can never love or be loved until one loves themselves. Nice thought, but not necessarily true in this context. The author George Bernard Shaw explained, "Do not do unto others as they would that they should do unto you. Their tastes may be different." And then there's a question of the meaning of neighbors. Does it mean the person who lives next to you? Or does it mean, as the Torah explains, siblings, kinmen, member of our people, and neighbors? No commentator actually means this to be the person who lives right next door to you. But it does mean someone that you dwell with in close proximity, with whom you share citizenship, with whom you may share faith. Some commentators understand this verse as an expansive language meaning to include loving your neighbor, whether that person is an Israelite or a non-Israelite. When asked to name the most important verse of the tradition, a rabbi of the Talmud named Ben Petria chose a verse affirming that every human being descends from the same initial creation, indicating that Ben Petria was a universalist. Rabbi Akiva saw our verse differently, holding that one should only love our own kin more than everyone else. Rashi's grandson, Rashbam, reads the verse in a particularistic and conditional fashion. Love your neighbor only if your neighbor is like you. I don't buy that. Martin Buber says something that I can agree with. Love your neighbor because your neighbor is you. Meaning you don't just share the divine image with that person, you share a destiny with that person. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly infects all indirectly. That is why we must love our neighbors as ourselves. When my kids were young, I would teach them always that they were a part of this world, not apart from this world. And that meant that if someone was crying on the playground, it was their responsibility to go and lift them up and give them a hug and sit down and talk with them. It meant that if you saw someone shoving someone else, that you would tell an adult about the shoving and then comfort the shovey, not to go put your hands on someone and push them back, sometimes the way we want to. What does it mean to love someone as if they are yourself? Sometimes, as flesh and blood, the urge to take vengeance on others, to hold grudges, even to hate people in our hearts, are powerful urges. But when we understand that those who we don't like mirror a piece of what we have inside of us, it becomes easier to draw them close instead of pushing them away. We can't allow resentment to foster. Rather, we must communicate our hurts to each other privately, humbly, and constructively, sharing our pain while remaining open to hearing the other side. Because when we let that hurt and resentment go, writes Luzzatto, we can finally become who we truly are. That is what the verse says. Love your neighbor as yourself, without grudges, without resentment. Kamocha mamash, truly yourself. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. May each of us see ourselves reflected in the eyes of another. And may together we all become kiddoshim, holy, in every aspect of what that word means. We turn in our prayer book to page 586 as we rise for Aleinu.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing and turn to page 592, a poem by Merit Malloy. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need me, put your arms around me and give to anyone what you want to leave me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. So look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch bodies and by letting go of children that need to be free. You see, love never dies. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, please give me away. We remember in the period of Shiva, Saul Lapardon, and we remember those whose yahrzeit fell at this time in years past. Sanella Abrams, Bella G. Coopersmith, Bella Doctorow, Benjamin Eisen, Charles Frankel, Benjamin Gurevitz, Catherine M. Harriges, M. Eloise Harriges, Bell Hockey, Scott Siebert Johnson, Henry Jung, Anne Klein, Mark Levin, Thomas Robert Manion, Martha Milgram, Robert Needleman, Leon J. Panek, Albert Rosen, Irene Sandman, Catherine A. Saybolt, Jerry Scharf, Ira Schotten, Lena Tenenbaum, Esther Tanner, and Harry Weiner. If there's anyone else that you would like to remember at this time, state their name aloud as my eyes meet yours. We turn together to page 598 and say Kaddish for the numberless people who have been killed and whose names have been lost. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitranam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudishat b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran v'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Please be seated. Our president-elect, Margot Hassan, has some announcements for us tonight. A lot of announcements.
I abbreviated them.
Good. Thank you.
Hey, Shabbat. Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
On behalf of MRT, I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining us tonight. This was kind of a yucky evening, and then you came out anyway, and that was pretty awesome. And hello to those on live screen. May's Tzedakah box donations are going to the food bank of Monmouth Daycare Center in Red Bank, sponsored by the Seligman family. This center provides families in needs with quality childcare regardless of their ability to pay, and their food bank ensures that families have access to nutritional food at night and on weekends. More information about the following events that I'm going to talk about can be found in your weekly e-blast. Be patient, keep scrolling. Scrolling. Keep on scrolling. MRT's annual meeting is Thursday, May 15th at 7 o'clock. Please join us. We'll celebrate our accomplishments for the past year. We'll ratify our proposed budget and make a bylaw change. We're going to elect a nominated slate of officers and show appreciation for the outgoing officers and trustees. It is important to attend this meeting because then you'll really understand. They're going to have a presentation about the finances and really explain to you what keeps this place going, keeps the roof dry, and all that. Join the Adult Education Committee on June 8th at 10 a.m. as they welcome Rabbi Leslie Bergson, presenting Strength in Jewish Community. Rabbi Bergson is well known in our community as she's a former religious school teacher, has served as our stand-in rabbi on many occasions, and we're happy to see you back. We need volunteers to keep Gan Mazon, our community garden, running. You know, last year we produced and donated over 2,000 pounds of veggies to Jewish Family Services. Please contact Sheila Bodner if you can help. No garden experience is necessary. Students can receive community service hours. Tonight, my husband and I sponsor the Oneg, as you heard, because we're very excited and quelling over our daughter finally finishing 6 years, and I think maybe now we're finally financially free of her, and that'd be really great.
You shouldn't have said that.
I put a
Right, yeah.
kind of her on there, a jinx.
Right.
So consider sponsoring an Oneg if you've got some good news to share with the community. You ask me how, and I'll let you know. MRT would love for more people to invest in our mission of connecting as a community. We welcome your investment in time as well as donations to help us grow. For information on joining the family or making a donation, please contact Jordan in the office, visit the website, talk to the rabbi, talk to the Cantor, talk to me, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Margo.
Our closing song.
Okay, our closing song is on page 631 of your prayer book. It is a version of Ein Keloheinu that is Sephardic and therefore in Ladino, which is a form of Spanish. And in keeping with the rabbi's words, remembering our neighbors in Central and South America, in honor of the new pope, in recognition that much of the world speaks Spanish, not just English, it's really important to remember that this is also part of our tradition. So I also want to say that he's coming home soon, but that same kid I was telling you about, Asher, is now on a vacation in Peru as well, just
Oh,
coincidentally.
wow.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
I know, yeah, it's great. Okay. He doesn't have a mortgage, it's fine. He should go while he can.
Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, ein Kemoshienu, non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Keloheinu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kemalkeinu, mi Kemoshienu, quien como nuestro Dios, quien como nuestro Señor, quien como nuestro Rey, quien como nuestro Salvador. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu, lo haremos a nuestro Dios, lo haremos a nuestro Señor, lo haremos a nuestro Rey, lo haremos a nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, benedictum nuestro Dios, benedictum nuestro Señor, benedictum nuestro Rey, benedictum nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador.
Thank you for that, Cantor.
Cheery.
We join together in making motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Or B'tei Avon. We wish everyone a continued Shabbat of peace, of looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at those around you, your neighbors, and seeing them for who they truly are and loving them for who they are. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you inside in the Oneg.